What's going on, everybody? This is Paul Newell from the Wellness Neighborhood, bringing you the truth on how to take care of your body, mind, and soul. So today, in this segment, I'm bringing you some soul care and some soul reflection on loss in life. Yes, loss in life. This has been in the front of brain for the past several, actually, yeah, about a month now. Um, in my life, I've experienced some loss and near losses recently, and recently I lost my aunt, really a pillar in the family, and also recently I've had life. So a third child. And also a lot of friends having kids for the first time, or additional kids, and friends having birth announcements and such. And it really has brought me to this space of appreciation for loss in life. And the thing what really gets me here is the depth and how they're really one and the same. And it brought me to this space. Like recently, a friend of mine lost his parents, and it brought me back to this space of thinking about how loss brings life. I remember when my mom passed away, and when we were lowering her casket into the ground. I remember my oldest son, was standing over the grave, and he was like looking down as it was going down, and I remember just hearing this voice of my mom saying, it's new life. We're not here anymore, referring to her, my dad, her and my dad, and we didn't have those parameters, those restraints from their physical dimension. And I remember just thinking, like, oh my gosh, man, it's like, what do I do now? It's like almost instead of someone being in front to protect, like now, okay, I'm stepping up in the line. And it also, made me recognize the fact that when we lose someone, it's really that life that we gain is really what's the life like after they're gone physically. Because what I find is that when we lose people, they don't go somewhere, they go everywhere. And I feel like they're able to support and love us in ways that they may not have ever known in the physical realm of reality. So that's where the loss comes life. They're supporting life in a new way. It's like the soils in the life that's presenting these flowers that are coming up here, and it's a powerful piece to think about because it's like it's really tapping into an unknown, and I feel like that's what could be a tough thing for people, especially when dealing with loss, because we're holding on to that piece that of that person that we've lost in a physical form, when the new life is experiencing them in all ways, in memories, thoughts, things that come up, birds, nature, all these ways that may be unseen that we haven't gravitated towards. Now, that's the loss to life. Now, let's talk about the life to loss. And, it's when I was thinking about life, I was thinking about how precious life is and how beautiful it is, and thinking about, babies being born and like that purity and that thing about them that's just unmistakable. It's like a precious jewel. And in that beautiful life, there is loss, because in nurturing that new life, there's something that we lose. There's something that we have to let go of. And I'm not talking about all we have to sacrifice, but more of it's a part of us has to be gone for us to nurture this new life that comes. And, like when I think about life could be kids, life could also be dreams. Right now for me, that life to loss is bringing life or giving life to dreams and purpose, and my purpose specifically. There's some loss of the ways that I used to be, my old ways of being. I had to let those things go because they weren't going to nurture. They're not going to nurture that part of me that gets to live the dream. And when I think about it, the life and the nurturing, when new life comes, whether it's loss of someone or achieving a dream or like having a new kid, there's a part of us that gets awakened. Or I should say there's a part of me that got awakened and got me to tap into an internal wisdom that's beyond any instruction or guidance or belief system I may have gotten from my parents or conditioning or anything like that. It's a part of me that I get to tap into, and when I tap into that, I lose the people pleaser. I lose those things of trying to look good and all these things, because it's going to bring me new life. The old ways of being, it's like I have to let those things go, and therein is the loss. And this all gets tied into, when I was thinking about this and really diving in, it ties into something that, two experiences. One is a story my brother was telling, my oldest brother. The second is a shaman journey I went on with Sensei Victoria. And it's about source, this darkness. And the source is really, it's the basis for both. It's where loss and life are one. And what made me think about this is, like, when I was talking to my brother just had some pretty serious surgery on his heart. And he said that he was gone for a little while. He died. And he said it was darkness. And then he said that there was a time that in the darkness that it was like a voice was asking him, if, like, giving him a highlight of his life and asking him if he'd do anything over. And when he said that he wouldn't, he said, because he wouldn't have his son, I feel like in that moment my brother chose life. And the old ways of being were going to be gone. And that was that, the darkness and death. But then, like, when I had this experience with Sensei Victoria in a shaman journey, I experienced darkness. And I experienced the creation of darkness, like being back in the womb, giving birth to something. So this loss in life, I do this video because I just asked us all to hold them both as sacred, and entertain the thought process that they are one. They come back to the same darkness, which isn't, the darkness of death. That's what we usually label as that darkness of death. But then what about the darkness of creation? From no thing comes something. So with that, I'm going to head out. It's been 7 minutes. I've been going long on these videos because they've been getting meaty. So this is Paul Newell signing off from the Wellness Neighborhood, just getting you to think about loss and life and the beauty in them both.